I think often people don't associate finance with the environment or with societal issues, but because of the influence the finance industry has on the world around it, on the economy, on the way in which cash flows into different places, it has so much influence. At the global stage as well, we have the ability to get the message to a lot of people that maybe smaller industries don't. And it's a well-established industry, well-respected. So to take that step to really do something about things that maybe don't naturally align with finance are ultimately impacted by what finance does is really important.
We think about net positive, not just from obviously the climate point, which is really important, but everything else we do, trying to have a positive impact on everything that touches our business. But the climate is the primary piece to that. It's a good opportunity to have a really positive influence on everyone that interacts with us, because we've become such a scale business in so many countries, and with a view to changing people's perceptions of what can be done, whether it's a social impact or environmental impact. We have an opportunity to do something, and I think it's really important that every business and business leader takes the opportunity that they have to make a positive impact and do all they can to slow down the climate change effect. Being a global business is key these days. Everyone has businesses which extend across borders, and being able to provide that solution in as many geographies as possible really adds value to our clients, so they're not having to use 10 different providers or 12 different providers. They can just use one or two potentially. So it really gives them access to having one comprehensive solution, doesn't matter where they need it to be provided, and then it looks consistent whether they're having it delivered in Singapore or Australia or the Middle East or Europe or the US. And I think there's value in making sure you can deliver globally as the world has evolved so much into it being a global economy.
Financial Services Disruptor Forum is essentially a think tank for change in financial services. So we brought together a group of industry leaders and also people outside of our industry, because we want to learn from people that are doing things differently. So we had a steerco, which was to discuss what are the topics that we really want to get to in this Disruptor Forum, and then take that to the market. So we involved companies and leaders from places like Starling Bank, from the Bank of England, and also looked at involving SaaS companies to evolve the way that financial services thinks about technology and the way that we think about disruption. So it's really about starting a conversation and bringing the best minds in the industry and outside of the industry together so that we can accelerate that change and really get the industry comfortable with doing things differently.
So Apex has developed a really unique model given the complexity of hiring people in the right places at the moment. We have created opportunities for our staff to move globally within our businesses. We call it Project Jump, which is a jurisdictionally unique mobility program. And that's really a way of which we can have people have global careers with us and not be limited by just thinking, well, actually, I can only have a role in my city or my country, but to experience the cultures around the world and get great opportunities. So we're really excited to bring that to our teams and talk about coming to Apex for a global career rather than just a job or a career in a city particularly. And people are really reacting well to that. It's a great initiative, and it depressurizes our businesses where we're finding it hard to find enough good people given our growth.
So the Women's Accelerator program is an initiative we launched at Apex earlier this year. And that's about really having an honest look at our organisation and the way in which women are moving or are not moving through our organisation, and having an initiative that does something about that. So we looked at the women across the business, and we found that very similar to most financial services organisations, we have 50-50 approximately on female and male across the organisation, but the majority of those females are in the lower level of the organisation. And I think that too often the focus when it comes to gender equity and gender equality in financial services is on the C-suite, because it's the most visible. And so often companies look to address that. But what we feel is that mid-management is where the problem is. So we brought together 50 or just over 50 women across the organisation that are high performing, and we've put them into a community so they have other women to look to talk to about their experiences, and also give them opportunities for additional training, learning and development, and to hear from female speakers that have been successful in our industry and outside. So it's really about a community, but it's also with an outcome of promoting and moving those high performers on a merit-based system, not a quota-based system, through the organisation, so that there's a sustainable change and not just a one-year change in the percentage of women at the C-suite.
Everyone needs to group together to do what they can to slow down the climate change effect primarily, but also the social and governance is really important as well. And so we're really passionate about how we want to be the leading business doing this in financial services. So we announced how we've offset all our carbon since we started the business 19 years ago, which I think is one of the first businesses to do that. And we're trying to set examples to other companies to hopefully follow our lead in these initiatives. And we have a really strong ESG product where we can actually rank and rate and score private companies as to how ESG they are. And that's valuable as well, because people will only want to invest into the right ESG business, whether it's an equity investment or a debt investment, or even their insurance. I think people will really want to make sure that the businesses have the right ESG profile and they're aware of it, because that's ultimately what investors expect.
ESG is going nowhere, but I think that it needs to evolve, and it's about not having that as a sort of fluffy element on the side of an organisation, but having core roles that are dedicated to diversity and inclusion, to environmental change and impact for the organisation, having somebody constantly looking at the power consumption of the organisation, having core job roles rather than committees or councils. That's how jobs and the role of industry is changing, is having people dedicated to making those changes, and that's the only way that it's going to happen.